going on, everyone? As you may have noticed in the intro, I'm trying out a huge change to my desk setup. BenQ recently sent me their 48-inch 4K OLED gaming monitor, the Mobiuz EX480UZ. So, in today's video, I'm going to take you through the unboxing process, how I've been using it, some of the technical specs, and what I like versus what I don't like about it. Even though they sent this to me, I'm going to give you my honest opinion because you're taking time out of your day to support my channel. So the least I can do is give you a decent enough video that paints the best possible picture of what this product is. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. To start off, let's get this thing set up. The stand itself is super easy to put together by screwing the mount to the legs. You're supposed to keep the monitor in the packaging when you attach the legs, but I read the instruction after I was supposed to follow it, so whatever. Once you get the legs attached, you place the cover on top and it gives you a super clean look. If you've never handled an OLED monitor or TV, the screen is actually super thin, which is awesome, but it can make it tricky to handle if you're not careful. Inside the box, you also receive the power cable, a basic remote. It's nothing special, but super nice to have for a monitor when you want to tweak a lot of settings. And they also include a DisplayPort 1.4 cable, HDMI 2.1 cable, USB-C cable, and USB 3.0 cable, as well as mount adapters. The power cable is located on the side of the monitor, but it makes it not great for cable management as you'll have to bend the cable back around if you want to keep it hidden. On the opposite side of the monitor, you'll find the other ports, which includes two USB 3.1 downstream ports, one USB upstream port, a USB-C port for video, data, and power delivery up to 90 watts, a display port, two HDMI ports, SPDIF port, and lastly a headphone jack. And then underneath the monitor is where you'll find the power, navigation, and input selection buttons. From a design perspective, the back of the monitor is extremely clean with nice RGB accents to give it a clean gaming look without being over the top. The negative about these is that if you put it up against the wall, these lights are nowhere near bright enough to give the monitor a nice backlight. What also makes this monitor stand out is the panel itself that you've come to expect from OLED. It's something where you're almost obligated to point it out when your buddies come visit and you want to show off a little. While the monitor stand is nice, my desk is only 25¼ inch deep and you do not want a 48-inch monitor right up in your face. So time to bring back out the monitor adapters. I got a TV wall mount for this that was about $25 off of Amazon. When it comes to monitors that are 42 to 48 inches, I honestly think you really need to consider mounting to get enough space between you and the screen so that you're not having to move your head up and down or left or right all the time. The 48-inch display itself features 3 slim bezels that give you more screen real estate along with a soundbar area at the bottom, and I'll cover that later. Let's go through some of the main specs real quick before I go over how I use this monitor. It is a 4K OLED panel with anti-glare matte finish, which is great for when I'm working from home during the day. It features a 120Hz refresh rate, which is perfect for PS5 and Xbox Series X, but PC gamers would probably like to see this to be slightly higher. It has a pixel density of 92 pixels per inch, 98% DCI P3 color gamut, and 450 nits maximum brightness, which is definitely on the lower end for a high-end gaming monitor. I typically game at night, so this really isn't much of an issue for me specifically, but I know many gamers would like to see this be improved in the future. Speaking of gaming, let's get into what makes this a gaming monitor and why I've been loving using it. From a technical perspective, this monitor has DisplayPort and 2 HDMI 2.1 ports to ensure that your consoles can get up to 120Hz refresh rate. And this monitor also features a 0.1 millisecond response time as well as FreeSync Premium for smoother gaming without screen tearing. With this being an OLED monitor, you're able to get more vivid colors while also getting pure blacks without the light leaks that you might see on other monitors. BenQ's newly optimized HDRI technology enhances contrast and color accuracy, providing a more realistic gaming experience. Basically, it works by improving the contrast through color saturation and auto-adapting light for a better overall experience. In a nutshell, what I'm really trying to say is that I highly recommend just playing around with the settings. Games like Call of Duty, I typically mess around with the light tuner to ensure that I don't miss the campers that are in dark corners. And for role-playing games, I like to do the same while also enhancing the color vibrance to give it a way better look and feel. Being 48 inches, you get a more immersive gaming experience, but for FPS games like Warzone, Apex, and Fortnite, where you need to easily see all the areas of the screen to react quickly, this monitor actually lets you modify the screen size and adjust where it's located. Mainly playing Warzone myself, I typically switch it to the 32-inch mode and I move it to the bottom center of the screen. And for days that I just want to sit back and relax, I put it back on 48-inch mode and adjust the monitor's location and just take a seat further away from the screen. When it comes to audio, BenQ uses an internal 2.1 channel sound system with their Trevolo speakers to give it a wider range of high, mid, and low sounds. It also features different sound modes based off of the type of game you're playing. It's actually super nice to have this with a monitor, but to be honest, I still use my Edifier speakers and my Astro gaming headset. With that said, let's go through a little demo of the speakers to give you a better idea of how it all sounds.
Sebastian, it's been a while.
It has. Glad you received my album. I have something to show you.
An area that really surprised me was that I ended up using this a ton for productivity purposes. I honestly thought 48 inches was way too big for a productivity monitor, but I'm actually digging this. Like, I've really been loving using this for my editing and day-to-day work. So hear me out here. I'm used to using a 38-inch ultra-wide monitor. It's great, but if you're big into desk setups, you may have noticed a trend in stacked monitors. This actually gives me kind of the best of both worlds. Of course, this is still a massive monitor, but it's all about adjusting your workflow to where your eyes are going to be the most and ensure you're not having to move your head all around a lot. I use the Magnet app on my MacBook to snap all the windows into more of an organized layout. This just helps make it all easier for me. You can also take advantage of the picture-in-picture mode or the picture-by-picture mode if you have two sources such as a Mac and a PC combo setup. On top of all this, the monitor also has iSafe certification to reduce blue light, which is great when you're constantly working on screens all day. As I said earlier, I wanted to be honest with you on things that I liked and didn't like. To start off, it's definitely not a cheap monitor, but it's definitely something that I've seen with most HDMI 2.1 OLED monitors. I've seen the price range between $1,200 to $1,499 USD, depending on when it's on sale or not. I'll leave links down below so that you can check. The monitor's brightness also needs to be improved upon, as well as possibly an increase in the pixels per inch. I think this monitor would also benefit from converting to a smart monitor so that we could upgrade the firmware or access Netflix without having to plug it into a PC. Overall, I've had this for a few weeks, so I'm still getting to know this monitor, but I've thoroughly enjoyed using it so far. If you have the setup and budget for it, it's actually a pretty sweet option. That about wraps up today's video. If there are any areas I missed or that you think I should expand upon further in the future, just let me know down in the comments. With that said, I'll see you all next time.